Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I am back on Showdown with some more experiments in VGC. Yes indeed. Now, a while ago I had an idea to sort of do some occasional VGC games on Showdown, just to experiment with some strange sets, because you know me, I like my strange sets, I like my gimmicks, and with more than one Pokemon on your side on the field, there's just so many more options to explore. So I did one episode and then I just sort of instantly fell out of love with it. I wasn't really, I had one other idea and it just wasn't working. I tried something else, it just wasn't working, so I thought, you know what, I'll shelve that for now. But a few things happened today that made me want to get back into it. First up, I was watching a video by X-Ray's Ovation, who was using Symbiosis Florges to use a Scarfed Symbiosis Florges to use Swagger on a Garchomp, who then gets its Lumberry, and then Symbiosis happens to give it a +2 Garchomp a Scarf, which kind of inspired me. I was like, yes, this is great. This guy, X-Ray's Ovation, obviously is like an amazing guy. He's got awesome VGC plans, really knows what he's doing. And then I was in a Skype chat with the PPL crew, and we were talking about Anger Point, and the cogs started whirring, and I was starting to think about how best to utilise Anger Point. So, what I've got here is a team. These first 4 ones are basically, well, the first 2 are kind of irrelevant. These 4 are filler that I grabbed from another team. So we've just got a specially offensive Gyarados, Whack and Berry, blah blah blah, and we've got a Zap Plate, Thundurus, Discharge, Thunderbolt, Taunt, Hidden Power, Ice, you know, sort of. This was just a copy-paste job. These 2 don't really matter. Perugly is quite nice because it has Fake Out support and Taunt, so that's quite nice as a potential lead, as is Hitmontop. Hitmontop gets access, of course, to both Wide Guard and Quick Guard. This one's also got the Rock Slide and the Mach Punch. That's just nice support. Hitmontop is usually one of my leads. The other lead I tend to go with is Jynx. Sorry, I'll try that one again. The other lead I tend to go with is Jynx. These 2 are the ones that matter. These 2 right here. So let's look at Jynx first. The moveset: Frost Breath, Trick Room, Helping Hand, and Skill Swap. Specially defensive, minimum nature and speed. The plan with this mod, with this team, generally lead with Jynx and Hitmontop. The plan goes thusly: Jynx is sashed, it can take any one hit. Hitmontop goes for Wide or Quick Guard, depending on the opposing Pokemon, depending on whether I think a priority attack is coming, or whether I think it's going to be an Earthquake, a Heat Wave, a Rock Slide, any of those ones. So ideally, Hitmontop is a protector, Jynx goes for the Trick Room. Now what happens next is very important, and relies a lot on luck on my part. I then switch out Hitmontop into this guy, Camerupt. This is a Mega-Camerupt, max HP, max attack, with an adamant nature, because it doesn't need a negative speed nature. You'll notice it is rocking Anger Point. Frost Breath always results in a critical hit. Anger Point: if this Pokemon takes a critical hit, its attack is raised 12 stages. What this means is that Camerupt is at +6 in Trick Room, with the ability to Mega Evolve and gain its Mega ability Sheer Force. Therefore, Flame Charge is suddenly coming off +6 in Trick Room without getting the speed boost. Earthquake is just a monstrous move, and Rock Slide is not having that chance to flinch, but it's increased in power. And in case it's not powerful enough, Jynx has Helping Hand, just to make it even more powerful. Jynx's 4th move is Skill Swap, because what if Camerupt is facing down a Water type? I can give it Dry Skin. That's the plan. Now, as you know, with these kind of gimmicks, for every time it works, there's going to be a dozen times it doesn't. What I'm going to show you right about now are a few occasions where it has worked, and it's fairly glorious. So strap yourselves in as we take a ride with +6 Mega-Camerupt. So here we are, first game. I lead off with Jynx and Hitmontop, as my opponent is going to lead with Salamence and the Togekiss. This is a fantastic lead. He gets the Intimidate with Mence, I get my Intimidate with Hitmontop. Mine matters more. So I'm going to go for the Wide Guard, just in case. You know, I get lucky here, Togekiss misses an Air Slash. Salamence goes for Tailwind, Jynx goes for Trick Room. This is a brilliant setup. I am now going to go straight into Camerupt. Going to go for the Frost Breath, get the crit on Camerupt, and now Camerupt is sitting at +6. Salamence goes for Dragon Dance, always nice to see people setting up speed in Trick Room. Air Slash from Togekiss does not take out Camerupt. So, Camrupt's going to Mega Up, Jynx is going to go for the Helping Hand, and I'm going to go for the Rock Slide. Salamence, dead. Very unfortunately, it misses the Togekiss. But Togekiss goes for an Air Slash on the Jynx, so Camerupt is still good to go. In comes the Aegislash, and Camerupt is going to go for Flame Charge, and destroy Shield Form Aegislash. Togekiss is going to take a Frost Breath, but Togekiss is bulky, it's going to live it. And it's going to take out Camerupt from there, but you know, the damage is done. Camerupt has done an enormous amount to my opponent's team. I'm going to go into Hitmontop. Here comes the Beedrill, is going to take an Intimidate, which is not what he wants. So I'm going to go for the Frost Breath, that's going to take out the Togekiss, and now it's just Beedrill versus the world, but I pretty much have this. I'm going to go for Bulldoze, which seems odd to be using on a Trick Room team. I did switch it up afterwards, but in this instance, Trick Room's about to run out. Beedrill goes for the Swords Dance, and, you know, he's got his speed lowered. As it is, he still outspeeds all my mons. But, you know, he can't kill a Hitmontop, it's bulky as hell. Going to go for the second Bulldoze, it doesn't really matter, because Jynx's Frost Breath is going to do for Beedrill, and that is going to be the first game. So, Camerupt putting in a nice little shift. Bit unfortunate that I missed that Rock Slide on the Togekiss, otherwise the game would have been over a couple of rounds earlier, because I would have gone for an Earthquake and destroyed both the Aegislash and the Beedrill, I suspect. But, that's the kind of work Camerupt can do. Let's get into the second battle and see how that went. So, into the second game we have Jynx and Purugly leading this time, as he goes with Milotic and Arcanine. He gets the Intimidate with Arcanine. This doesn't matter because Jynx is special and Purugly has the Defiant. So, gonna go for Fake Out on the Arcanine, it's the bigger threat to me as a whole. Milotic just gonna go for the Scald on the Purugly, which once again doesn't really matter because I'm able to set up the Trick Room. Here, I take a huge risk going into Camerupt. It pays off as Milotic goes for Protect. Arcanine is going to go after Jynx, of course. Frost Breath is going to give me that boost. Arcanine just going to go for the Overheat on the Jynx, which I do live with my Sash. Now, here, Camerupt is going to Mega Up and just go for Earthquake. And it just clears the field. Milotic gone, Arcanine gone, Jynx doesn't really matter. I was incidentally going for a skill swap, but of course Camerupt outslows. So, the field is clean, in comes Venusaur, Aegislash, and my Purugly once again. Here, the Venusaur Megas up, and unfortunately Aegislash goes for Wide Guard. I did go for Fake Out on the Venusaur, but I did go for the Earthquake with Camerupt, which means I take out my Purugly, but his Aegislash and Venusaur are still alive. So, his Venusaur flinches. I'm going to go into my last one, which is the Gyarados, get the Intimidate, which doesn't really matter too much. Here, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Wide Guard's coming, I'm just going to go for that big Flame Charge, crit the Venusaur through the thick fat, and just take it down, which is beautiful. Going to go for the Waterfall on the Aegislash, do a little bit of chip damage. So, the Trick Room's gone, Gyarados outspeeds, goes for the Waterfall, Aegislash unfortunately for him flinches, and Camerupt is able to finish it up with a well-placed Flame Charge. So, Camerupt once again showing its power, clearing the field with a Milotic at full health on said field. That was intense, because I'm pretty sure that the power of multi-hit moves is sort of lowered in a VGC multi-battle kind of format. I'm not sure, I say I don't really know the format very well, but I'm pretty sure it's cut in power by some way. I'm not sure by how much. So if that's true, and even if it isn't, taking out a Milotic from full health with a non-super effective, albeit stab, Earthquake was just fantastic to see. So that's once again Camerupt putting in the work in the second game. Let's get on to the final game and see if we can come out with yet another good showing from my man, Mega-Camerupt. Okay, final battle against a pretty serious looking sand team. I make my usual lead, and in come the T-Tar and the X-Drill looking to hit really hard straight off the bat. I get the Intimidates, which is really nice. He's going to switch straight out into his Rotom Heat and go for the Protect on the Mole. This is great. It means I get off a Wide Guard just in case of Earthquake and go for the Trick Room. This is fantastic for me. All looking really good. The plan's going off without a hitch so far. I'm going to switch out into Camerupt, of course, and go for the Frost Breath. Crit gets me my anger point. Rotom's going to go for the big old overheat. Jynx's sash is broken, that's going to take it down, but Jynx's job is done. And the Iron Head here from the X-Drill, not going to do much to Camerupt. So, I'm going to bring in my Gyarados, get that double Intimidate off on the X-Drill, meaning he's not going to be hitting very hard at all. He's going to switch out the Rotom here and go into the T-Tar, and he's going to switch out the X-Drill, get rid of that attack drop and go into his Salamence. Gets the Intimidate, takes it down to only 5, plus 5 on the Camerupt. Going to go for the Rock Slide and do incredible damage to the T-Tar. Unfortunately miss the Salamence, but it's okay because after the Sandstorm does its thing, I'm going to be able to go for a subsequent Rock Slide, and this is going to take down the Tyrannosaurus from where it is and the Mega Salamence. So, Camerupt getting 2 KOs there, very nice indeed on the Pseudo Legends. So, it's going to be the Rotom Heat and the X-Drill to come back in for my opponent here. He's not going to go for Protect on the Mole. I went for Rock Slide to guarantee taking out the Rotom, and the Waterfall just in case he did go for the Protect on the Mole. But as it is, Waterfall gets a crit, which I don't know how much that mattered one way or the other. But that is going to be the game. Gyarados finishing it off, but Camerupt putting in all that massive amount of work at the end there. So, that is going to be it from this episode of the VGC experiments. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Mega-Camerupt putting in a massive amount of work, abusing that very lesser used anger point before megaing up to get some big physical attacks off and you know, do some pretty big cleaning. So, as I say, thank you very much once again for watching, and I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.